Hello, this is the first video in a playlist discussing a MATLAB app that I wrote to explore some of the ideas behind matrix row operations. So the idea for the app is that instead of performing the numerical calculations yourself, the arithmetic, what the app will do is it will perform those for you. And so you can focus on just the algorithm, the method that you're using to perform row operations. So we'll be focusing specifically on putting a matrix in a form that's row reduced and also in row reduced echelon form. So to discuss the app, a few things should be said. The first thing is that the way that it's set up now is that you can generate a random matrix using these things over here. These things down here are not quite fully implemented, so it's for a later edition of the app, I suppose. And there are also some buttons down here. So let's first explore. So this right here it starts off with all zeros. So it's a matrix. These are the rows and these are the entries of the matrix. You see that it's 5 by 6, so 5 by 6. And if I generate a random matrix, it is going to put no requirement on the rank. So what does that mean? It means it's basically going to be a random matrix. So let's generate a random matrix. And you see now these entries are just random numbers, and they're given within some kind of range. So what kind of operations can we do? Row operations. Well, we can do some basic ones, which is if we click these buttons here, they will allow us to interchange rows. So if I have 3, 4, -4, 5, 1, -4, then if I click this row button and then this row button, it will interchange these two rows. So what will I get from there? If I did that, the two rows I would get would be -2, 1, 5, 5, -4, 5. And then also this row would be below that. So it'd be 3, 4, -4, 5, 1, -4. So let's do that and see that that's what happens. So click this. Now it selects this whole row. And I'm going to click this and it's going to interchange the two rows. So what we get is this row right here on top, and then this row right here on the bottom. And here we have this undo and restart button. So if I click the undo, it's going to undo that last operation we did. So you just kind of interchanges them. Restart will go back to where we originally started, the original matrix we had that we generated randomly. Okay, so let's go back to this. So that was interchange row operation. Ooh, so I accidentally clicked that, so let me click off. It's not like this. Okay. So another operation that you can do is you can take this whole row and scale it by a number. So MATLAB is going to perform, this app is going to perform the arithmetic that you need to do in order to perform the method you want to do. So for instance, we have this 3 here. Suppose we want to divide this whole row by 3 in order to make this a 1. So what would that do? That would take this and divide by 3, so it'd be a 1. This divide by 3, we get 4/3. We get -4/3, 5/3, 1/3, and -4/3. And how I would do that is I just click the entry that I want to be normalized to be 1, and then I click it again. So you see that this row right here is now this row that we wrote out down here. So we illustrated the row operation of switching, and then also the row operation of scaling by a number. You can also scale by any other entry you want. You can pick this one or this one. And you can do that for any entry here. The point is that the one that you're scaling is just scaling that entry. You cannot scale by 0. You can't divide by 0 to make this 1. So if you click this, you're going to get an error. You cannot divide by 0. Okay, so let's restart. We'll go back to the beginning. So now we have one more operation to do, which is the operation of taking one row, multiplying it by a number, and adding that to another row. So let's do this in a simple case. We have this 1 here, and we'll take this whole row, and we'll add it to this row to get rid of this 4. Let's just illustrate that idea. So we're going to take row 2. So let me write that. We're going to take row 2. Okay, so you take row 2. I'm sorry, we're going to take row 1, and what we're going to replace it with is row 1 minus 4 row 2. So we take this row, we'll scale it by 4, -4, and then that's going to be added up here, and it's going to get a 0 here. So let's see what those two things are. So what is going to be -4 R2? So that's going to be, I'm going to write it right here. So -4 is going to give me 8 there. Then -4 is going to be -4. This is going to give me -20, -20, and then -4 times this, 16, -4 is -20. So this row right here is now scaled by -4 to get this, and then I'm going to add this to R1. That's going to become my new R1. So let me okay, so we have that. So what are we going to get for this row up here? So what is that going to be? If I add this to this, 8 plus 3 is going to be 11. -4 plus 4 is going to be 0. -20 plus -4 is -24. -20 plus 5 is -15. 16 plus 1 is 17. -20 plus -4 is -24. This is what I get when I add this row to this one, trying to make this one 0. So let's just illustrate that using the operations. We click this. Now this is going to select basically this entry here, and I'm going to use this entry to get rid of this 4 here. So I'm going to take -4 of this whole row and add it to this. So I should get that. So you see that we get 11, 0, -24, -15, 17, -24. So what we see is that we don't have to do the arithmetic every time because the MATLAB app will do it for us. So we've illustrated all of the row operations that you can do. And I also wanted to, click this. I also wanted to illustrate, so we can also undo those, restart. So let's illustrate some of these different things. So I can change the number of rows. It restarts with all zeros. And change it, increase it, decrease it. The rank does change the allowed ranks because the rank is only as big as one of the other ones. So let's actually explore what happens to this rank. So let's choose, I don't know, 4 by 5. We have just random matrix. You can also pick a different rank. And all of this is doing is it's basically guaranteeing the number of independent rows when we're doing row operations. Depending on how much familiarity you have with a rank, there's a lot of things that you could say about what the rank is in terms of linear algebra, but in terms of just row operations and putting it in row reduced echelon form, all that you need to know is the rank is going to be the number of rows that you get at the end that are all non-zero, basically the number of pivots. So that's what I wanted to do to illustrate this app. Again, these two things down here aren't actually implemented fully, but maybe in the future they will be. I do want to mention that these things down here, make sure you use row reduce, matrix is in row reduce echelon form. These will turn green when that's correct. So let me just perform the row operation to show when that happens. So I want this to be 1, so let me click that. Now it's a 1, and I'm going to use this 1 now to cancel out these two. Well, this one's already 0, so I'm good. So I'm going to use this 1 to get rid of the 14. I'll use this 1 to get rid of the 5. And then this is already 0, and I want to get a 1 out of this. So I can just take this 1 and divide by 4. This whole row. Now I have a 1. I'm going to use this 1 to get rid of everything else in this column. This is already 0, so it's good. So I'll get rid of that. I'll get rid of this. So now it's set up this way. So I want to find another 1 and 1 over here. So I'm going to make this one a 1. And I'm going to use this 1 now to get rid of everything else in this column. And that's it. So this is now row reduced and in row reduced echelon form. So you see this little staircase of zeros. That is the row reduced. And row reduced echelon form is because there's nothing else up here, basically. You could check out the definitions. You can see that if I swap these two, now I have a row of zeros here in the middle, and this is not going to be row reduced or row reduced echelon form.